Welcome back, everybody. We are on part 2 of episode 174. It's time for the hot tags of the week. We've got one hot tag, one hot lunch bag, essentially. Let's go through the hot lunch bag first. Fans at Raw were dressed up as Ric Flair, IRS, Ultimate Warrior, a couple other things, and they decided that they forced them to change their clothes. They aren't allowed to dress up like that anymore, I guess. Or maybe there was just something with what they were wearing. I don't know, but if you've got people that are dressed up as clowns and shit, and they allow that, I don't see really why it would be an issue for them to be dressed up as Ric Flair or IRS. Maybe Ultimate Warrior would be a little bit like insensitive in some way or something, but I don't know. This seems a little odd. I haven't heard much else to the story, so I don't know if they were just being rowdy and causing an issue or what. But they weren't ejected; they just had to change their clothes. What do you guys think about this? And what do you think in general about people dressing up? Is that something that's kind of ridiculous, or are you, all happy when you see people dressed up as Hulk Hogan and shit?
I like it when people are dressed up because it shows how dedicated some fans are to the idea of wrestling. I mean, if you go to any other sporting event, there's going to be people dressed up in certain ways, whether it's not actually imitating the guy itself, but instead you'll see like the crazy fans who wear like all the crazy stuff with it. I'm completely fine with fans dressing up and, at least showing some that they're interested in wrestling. I mean, those type of fans are usually the ones that will go crazy during the show, and they're actually showing what they like and hate. So when it comes to that, then yeah, it's just if they were being rowdy and something like that, I understand why they would want to like push them away, get them out of there. But at the same time, making them change, I find a little weird, in a way. So I don't know how I personally feel about that.
No, it has absolutely nothing to do with the fans being rowdy. In fact, I'm pretty confident these fans are doing absolutely nothing. What this was done was because of a history of things that happened. What do fans in the arena tend to do when they're getting bored with a match?
They'll chant the commentators, or if they see a Macho Man Randy Savage guy in the crowd, they'll start chanting Randy Savage.
Exactly. They are a distraction to the crowd, whether they knew it or not, whether it was their intention or not. That's how they're looking at it from a production standpoint. And that way, it's tough to say. You go to some other productions, like I think TNA had this rule for a while, or I know Lucha Underground is this way now, where you can't wear anything with a logo there, let alone a wrestling thing. You can't wear any type of company logo when you go to their recordings. They have that right. I mean, we got to remember, when you're not just going to like any regular old show, you're going to a sound stage essentially when you go to these wrestling performances. So they have that right. Whether you want to agree with it, I don't know. I mean, I think it's harmless. I like the idea of people dressing up. I think it's fun. And on the other side of the coin, if people are resorting to having to chant for people who are sitting in the front row, then what the fuck does that say about what you're putting on in the ring?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
There shouldn't be anything of a distraction going on in the crowd that people are paying attention to, because they should be locked on to what's happening in the ring.
Because the thing is, they're not paying for the guy in the crowd. They're paying for what's going on in the ring and in that area. Okay, if they're getting distracted by someone in the crowd, that really shows that your quality of what you're putting out is not that good. At the same time, you're going to have fans that want to just like make a stand, just like do their own thing because they're people like that. So you'll have like your WrestleMania crowd afters that do like just do the stupid chants and stuff. That's just what you expect with it. And when it gets to that time, WWE always addresses it like, oh man, we got the people from all over the world here tonight. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, that stuff's fine, but at the same time, you got to put on a good product if you don't want distractions to happen.
Still, though, like, isn't part of that part of the fun too? Like,
Like I'm with you. It's like I don't like them taking the fun out of it. If you look at a WWE crowd from the 90s or early 2000s even, and then take a look at wrestling fat crowds now, they're not as colorful, not just in costume, but I mean in science. There's barely any science. It's because WWE is so anal about what goes on their cameras that they won't allow shit anymore.
It's too homogenized.
I know a lot of people won't even risk it anymore because of how anal they are.
Today, for the first time, not the first time, but I watched the Monday Night Wars thing they had on the network. I thought I'd check it out today because I've never sat down and watch it. And just in the first 2 episodes alone, you'd see people in the crowd just like wearing those shirts and with like just like the letters drawn out on them. You never see stuff like that anymore. The only times you ever see anyone actually dressing up in ways like you guys say is like they're dressing up to mimic a wrestler in some capacity. Like My favorite's always whoever's dressed as John Cena and looks like him. Yeah, that guy's pretty cool.
I like seeing the weird people, like the really fat Goldust and the Carlito that's not the slightest bit Hispanic and stuff. Like that kind of shit's fun.
I would go as Carlito now. That's such a good idea.
Yeah, like if I was sitting there in the audience and then you walked by and you were dressed up as Carlito, I would laugh my ass off. And if that's going to be that much of a distraction and I'm not paying attention to the match that's going on, well then that match blows. And that's not, Carlito's fault for that. So, I don't know. I think that this is kind of odd. But if they are going to start policing that you can't dress up like that, then what the hell? Stop being so homogenized. Alright, our second hot tag, bigger story when it comes to actually, what's going to happen in wrestling is Kevin Owens just went through some knee surgery. He says that he's not going to really be taking that much time off. He's going to plow right through this and he's going to get back in action really quickly. I'm not hearing any buzzing from any of the dirt sheets that he's going to be relinquishing the title or he's going to be out for weeks or months or anything else like that. I guess it was just sort of like a, quick little knee surgery, and maybe they didn't have a whole lot of things scheduled for him to do over the next couple of weeks for NXT. Perfect timing if that's the case. They don't seem to be building towards anything at WrestleMania, so he's not missing that. If he's going to be wrestling Alex Riley, they've got enough time that they can give him a little bit of a rest. The next takeover hasn't been announced, so there's not building up to that or anything. I would assume that this isn't that big of a deal, but hopefully it's not a situation where he needs to get a second surgery or that can impact him in any way or whatever. But what do you guys think about the situation? Are you nervous about Kevin Owens? Do you think that this is blown out of proportion, or is this something you're going to be paying a lot of attention to?
There's no reason to be... Sorry, go on, Peyton.
No, I was probably saying the exact same thing you were. There's nothing to be concerned here. It's a minor surgery. NXT is set up in a way where they can have him hold on to that title for a while, and it's not going to cause any kind of problem for them in their program. He doesn't have to defend the title every week or even every month. He can go a number of months and be sidelined with it. My favorite part of this whole thing is the fact that this has allowed him a lot of time to just kind of like hang out at home and sit on Twitter, because some of the things he's been posting on Twitter lately have just been absolutely golden. In fact, in response to this very thing, someone tweeted to him, "Hey Kevin, get well soon," and Kevin Owens replies, "Don't tell me what to do."
Dick.
Yeah, the couple of things that you had sent me, I'm like, damn, Kevin Owens is funny too. Like, he's good in the ring, he's good on the mic, and he's fucking funny on Twitter. This is great. Like, what was the other thing about the congrats on the marriage?
Oh yeah, someone was like, "I can't believe what you did to my hubby Alex Riley," and he replies, "Congrats on the marriage, Alex."
Like, such a dick response. Like, I think that's what we would do if we were in that kind of a role where it's like, you got to be on Twitter. Ugh, all right, I'll interact with the fans. Hey, fuck you guys. Like,
Yeah, but I'd be the guy that gets fired for Twitter.
yeah, well, you'd be like the Ryback who doesn't delete his tweets.
Tweet and fuck you anyway.
Or
Instead
you'd
of
be
tweet
the
delete.
hacked version of Kurt Angle.
Oh, I got hacked again. Oh, again?
You
Yeah.
could be cranking Vince.
Drew, what do you think about the Kevin Owens knee surgery situation?
I mean, if he's able to take time off and he doesn't necessarily, like you guys said, he doesn't need to be there every week. He doesn't have to defend the title as much because NXT does their way of stuff differently. Then hey, by all means, take the time off. I'm not 100% concerned, but I am a little concerned at least because WWE has this tendency in the past, at least, that someone will get injured and they lose all the momentum that they've been building up for them. Though a counter argument to that is Enzo Amore, just like he broke his leg and he came back and he's about to win the NXT tag titles. So I think Kevin Owens will be fine as long as this doesn't become a major thing going on in the future. Knee surgery of any sort is very serious, and yeah, so get well and just well, no, I don't want to say that. I don't want him to tell me to fuck off, but yeah, just you got to be careful about the knees,
Maybe you can get some lipo ways on the table.
You really think that he needs to lose quite a bit of weight?
No, I'm just taking the piss. I actually like that he carries a bit of extra weight. The more people with unique bodies in WWE, the better. That's kind of what that's one of Rusev's appeal, is that he looks like a potato.
Yeah.
That's true. If we could get some other vegetables in the mix, that'd be amazing. Get some guy that looks like broccoli with like that kind of a hairdo. Shit, I'm down
I think
with
we need more wrestlers with the weird like split pecs.
the what?
You know, like that weird condition that like splits your pecs apart. Like Kofi Kingston has it and Chris Jericho has it.
Oh, where you kind of get like that gap in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Pectus excavatum.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that thing. Is that the actual name, or are you just like bullshitting?
Yes, it is. I have it, so that's why I know.
All right, we go to WWE. Peyton wants more of you people there.
All right.
More you people.
Yeah.
More of your kind.
Then you can do the whole shit with the Twitter account, and then you can get fired, and then we can have you as a special guest on SmackDown.
Oh shit, Fat. That's a perfect way to get a successful podcast. Get fired from WWE.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what everyone else does.
That's what makes a good podcast, when you have someone with wrestling experience.
Yeah. So after the rest hold break that we're going to have in a second, we're going to come back, start doing all the Hall of Fame stuff. Stay tuned, everybody. Click on the next video.